Okay, here we go. Let's take a minute on practice number 3. Let's see if anybody shows up. Meanwhile, I'm going to prepare some assets. Okay, so today we're going to continue practicing this business of being live by myself, and we're going to take a look at an impact crater, and then we're just going to take a little walk up to a mound. We're going to look at a mound, we're going to look at a crater. We're going to see what we notice. All right, so as I hunt for assets to share, and we give this live a minute. Why, Jason, don't you announce when you're going? Because I'm still practicing. That's why. I'll let you know when you can reschedule your life around an episode. Until then, we're just testing everything out and getting our sea legs about us. And we will attempt a little PR here. Jacob is chewing the chair away, and I have spread that in a couple of places so we can test all function, including the chat and my ability to maintain a little dialogue while we look at this stuff. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to pull up my YouTube. I think it's the best place to get a look at this. Videos, mine. There, Wetumpka Impact Crater. We'll go ahead and load that while we wait for a few people. Jacob, don't chew artifacts. Okay, so let's bring that there. All right, we have a couple of assets prepared. And there we go. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to jump on to a YouTube video I put out on the Wetumpka Impact Crater, right? And I'm going to jump through there and fast forward, and I'm going to show you a model. What's up, Sarah? Thanks for giving me somebody to talk to for a second to get this whole thing going. Everybody needs a Sarah. Plus, I want to, look, real quick. Hola, I want to up the size. Oh, no. What text is that? What did I do? Brand. Text is supposed to be permanent marker. Is that what happens in permanent marker? Okay, well, we'll leave it. We'll see what happens because my name, it looks like I say my name. I mean, I write my name. It doesn't look like I say my name. That would be kind of weird. Okay, so what we're going to do here, Sarah, again, you don't know how much it means to have somebody to talk to when you're testing your whole live capabilities. So love you. Thank you. Hola. Go back to whatever you were doing now. Okay. So to continue on, what I went out today, Jacob and we went out this morning, and I went to the site of Mabila where the Crescent Mound is, and I filmed a little walk up. So I'm going to do just basically a watch along of the walk up. We'll see what we see, but I also did some filming specifically today to try to show how it mimics the mound, and I figured the best approach for that is to look at this mound model, right, first, and sort of maybe hold it in a side window, right? And then get to these videos and sort of just kick back, do a little watch along, let people sort of get an idea for the space, right? I even did a lot of the videos. They're little short 2-minute bits, but without narration, so that, you know, I could add anything here, but also so people could just get a feel for the place. The overriding goal here of test 3 would then be to sort of compare today's video at the Crescent Mound with the video of the model, and probably, hopefully, maybe bring in a little LiDAR, USGS, and a little, we need to open Google Earth as well. Okay, I'm going to open all those tabs real quick. Asset loading time. Okay, so in X, we need here, here. How's your day, Sarah? How's everything going over there? There. Great. One asset loaded. Let's load Google Earth. Jacob, get him to behave. Yeah, just Google Earth. Dude, stop. Yeah, don't want to unlock layers. Want to search for Prattville, Alabama. Mabila is not on there yet. We'll fix that. Okay, so those assets are loaded, and now I've got the, okay, great. 4 assets ready to rock and roll. Okay, so what we're going to start with is I'm going to pop over here to YouTube, and we're going to look at a model of this impact crater, 85 million year old impact crater here in Wetumpka, Alabama, sitting on the Coosa River. Gravy. To the base for a tour. Okay, and I think here at the beginning of this, I show the artifact.
To your look
from near the site of Mabila, your look at the star wound, the impact crater of Wetumpka, Alabama. I mentioned here,
so back here in the background, you can see the crater.
This direction and let you see
and
what you could.
At this point, I'm standing under a mile away from the Crescent Mound. That's directly to the west, and then to my east here, you'll see the impact crater on the skyline.
Let's fast forward some more. You don't need the exposition. You've got me here. That's the whole idea of testing, talking to you guys, at least talking to Sarah. Love you, Sarah. Okay, so can I do it? Yeah. There. Okay, so this artifact, which I have coincidentally behind me here, right, has the shape of the crater and the mound in it. You'll see in these videos today. Oh, let me fix. Hang on. Let's go back here. And I forgot I got to do everything now. Okay, so we want to look at layout. Yeah, and we want to do that. Yeah. Oh, that's awful. Let's do, I can't do anything about the background light at the moment. Let's do that. There we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with grease. All right, so you see this artifact here, oddly sarcophagus shaped. It's fired clay. And you look in the back here, you you can begin to sort out where hands pressed it. Right. Okay. Um, Here in front of you, right up here, we see it. We see the shape represented. Specifically, if you turn it this way on a map, it's going to match precisely what I show you here at the end of this video. And now we're going to go back to my, there we go, side window of YouTube. Man, there's a lot to sort out here. Okay, so especially if you're not proficient like myself, here I am driving up to the impact crater. So this is literally the crater rim. This bridge here is downtown Wetumpka, and we're about to head over the Coosa River, right? Beautiful spot. There a lot. In fact, many of these subsequent series, excuse me, are going to focus us here in this river and up Corn Creek, which runs right up the side here of the crater, right? Now, moving us forward, I tour downtown. You can go check out this video on my YouTube page and just sort of give you some commentary. But again, we don't need that. I'm here. Here you'll see the first map, right? Okay, so of the, let's pause it there. Right, so you can see this crescent shape, right? And you've got the Coosa River flowing right off here to your left, right, through downtown Wetumpka. So literally the town sits on this crater rim, right? So I'm going to keep us moving here. Again, as I continue to tour, I get to the museum here at the end. And in the museum, I was astonished. Really, I had sort of a visceral reaction to this little model right here. Okay.
An hour. Unbelievable. And so it was coming pretty hard and fast. And when it exploded, it created a crater. It wasn't discovered until 1891 by Eugene Henry Smith, who was a geologist at the time, was doing some surveying for mapping of Alabama when he came across this huge depression here.
Yeah.
And he wrote it up, but it wasn't anything anybody could do because it was 1891. Right. So it wasn't until 1976 when another geologist was surveying for another mapping of Alabama when he came across this crater. And the crater at the time was a huge depression, as he said. And it was strange to him because the Appalachian Mountains stop like up at Jacksonville.
Right.
Okay, so he said, what is this? And he thought it was a volcanic crater. So he sent it into Washington. The feds sent back and said it's not a volcanic crater. And he just wouldn't settle for that. He continued to study and continued to survey, walked it around, found the center, which they call a rebound, and called a friend of his in Auburn, Dr. David King. Dr. King and he got it.
This is Mr. Benson, I believe. I hope I'm remembering that right. They're at the Wetumpka Impact Crater Museum in downtown Wetumpka. Check out this full video for I get most of his tour through here. But what I want to sort of pause and focus on is this here. This crater is precisely like the mound, which I'm going to walk you down here in this series. In today's episode. Sorry, right? It is a mimic of this. If this is a small model of the crater, right, then the mound, which we will tour, is sort of a upscaled model of this model, right? You see here in the center, right, how it's got all these little tiny ponds and lakes from where the Coosa River runs right here along the edge, and at some point would have flowed back in here and made these little ponds, right? Well, in this mound, as you will see today, it's down. Once you walk up the edge and jump down in the edge into here, they have recreated this sort of aquascape as well, right? Inside this, so it is in fact a complete model of this crater, is the theory that I'm working from and on here with everybody, right? So let's just move this along and see if there's anything else of note before we start our tour. You see here him describing the rebound area. This is kind of interesting.
I was, because of the private land issue, I take it. Yeah.
And so a lady was in here about 3 weeks ago, maybe. She said, I've lived here for 11 years inside the crater. Didn't know that I was inside the crater until yesterday, she said, which was the day before she came
wild.
out. And so
that is wild.
The middle, as I said, is called a rebound. Those two pictures are from the rebound. That's where they did the drilling.
Very unique landscape.
Yes.
So I might use a little video and presentation with friends if you're comfortable with that later. I do podcasts and stuff online.
There's a video.
Is there?
Yeah. I'll show you the video.
That would be perfect. Yeah, that would be great.
We'll show you the video.
You see here that this crater was made, so the date they give it is 85 million years ago, right? And back then, this whole area was a very shallow sea. That's why you see in this artist rendering here in front of me, the shallow ocean, right? And then here you have this opening, right? And when we go back now and we look at the model again, I wish I should, well, it's my show. I can do what I want to, can I? Let's look at my X feed and let's see if in my highlights, I believe I have a B-roll that I made. No, I don't. So that means we'd have to go over to the main and see if we can find it. So what I'm hunting is just a little B-roll I made where we get a correctly aligned, meaning north to south, view of this model. Here it is. So it's linked quite handily. Let me share this tab instead. Okay, and let me check our visuals. How are we looking in here? Are we sharing? We're sharing, but we're not maxed. So let's, go to that, right? Now let's max now. I hope you guys are seeing max. Okay, and here I have LiDAR, which I'll pull up on LiDAR, and we'll sort of zoom in and see of this mound. And you see here the creek running through, or this is the one running behind it, which we'll see in our little watch through here in a minute of my walk this morning. We'll see this destruction that's happening right here along the back, thanks to construction pushing the flow of this creek over. You'll then see me walking in this creek bed, right, which again mimics the Coosa River, right, and it sort of ends into swamp-like area here. So again, it sort of partially flows, but mostly flows when the creek is up. So again, something I attribute to being part of this model, right? And you'll see that. I walk through, I go up here in our tour today, I walk up the creek, I show you all of this, and then Jacob and I hop up here, I jump down, we jump back up, I walk all the way down around and then chase Jacob out into this creek bed, which mimics the Coosa River itself. Okay, so there we go. There's that reference point. Moving forward now. See, man, it's opening. Once I open all these windows, okay, we got to close that one. Great. Now, the video we opened X to get to is this one. So let's maximize.
Okay, so
the center is open. And if we look here, we have a marble representation. And if you saw my footage with Nick from Cold Rejects, you saw us walk up this side of the mound, right? And walk down. I mean, come on, right?
I'm gonna get one from the side so you have a board.
Okay, so this is sort of, correct, nearly like north to south orientation with the creek flowing in here. And today, again, I'll take roughly the same journey. You'll see me walk up here, around, jump down, not the actual crater, the crescent mound, which looks like the crater. And I'll clarify that for you on the maps here shortly. Let's move through the rest of, we've got a minute left here. Looks like it to me. Okay, and so this gives you the map you see here in Wetumpka, Alabama is where we are, right? So that way I don't have to worry about Google Earth here in a second. This is where the impact crater is, and then Prattville is right over here, which I will show on the map, which is where the mound we climbed today is. So I'm not going to take up any more time because we're going to... Here. So here's a pretty excellent map. You can see here the crescent shape has been outlined, right? You can see the river flowing right here along the edge of it, right? And then here the impact crater itself, just as in the model with this and the little ponds and stuff down here, okay? So that's enough out of UX. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to minimize because I want to hold the image, this image of the model here. Yeah, and let's minimize but leave you open, okay? And then, right, perfect. So I'm going to leave this as reference, and we're going to hop back over to, let's do our LiDAR. All right. Now, again, you're looking at a model of the impact crater in Wetumpka, Alabama, right? So I'm going to zoom in here and share this tab instead. Screen. 3D viewer. Great. Share. Okay. Now, we're zooming in on the southeast United States here, Alabama. You'll see Montgomery right here in the middle. All right, we're going to come further up to Wetumpka, right? So you have Wetumpka here. Now, where we're going to go for this is the Coosa River here dammed into Lake Jordan, right? And Corn Creek, you can see represented right here, runs just, it's, sort of the first little creek right here north of the crater, right? And probably the next episode I do, so episode 4 will center around Corn Creek. There's a lot going on there that I think informs what we see over here, okay? So we know here is our impact crater, right? Now right over here, just north of Prattville, Alabama, you see this little Pine Creek, right? And you see all these creeks shedding into Pine Creek. Okay, well, right there where they meet, right? So I don't think this thing has a pin where I can pin for mileage. Yeah, it doesn't seem to. But, you're talking 13, I don't know, or so miles, maybe 16. Yeah, from here to here, okay? All right, now let's zoom in on Pine Creek. You're going to see today, the walk I'm going to take is up this creek here. But now, as I zoom in and you see the neighborhoods being built, I've actually got some video, which I'll show here in a moment, of... to start the day, let's see, let's reorient ourselves. Right, so we're going to zoom in on this mound here in 1 second, right here at Pine Creek. Now this neighborhood, you see this old ridge road. So it's barely represented here, but it's begun expanding, and it runs all back in through here, okay? But let's hold that image of the crescent model of the impact crater right over there in Wetumpka in our minds, and I'm going to add in some LiDAR layers. Let me move a couple of windows and scroll down until we see. So we're using here's the way to do it. It's USGS free LiDAR app. Taxpayers, you know, hey, something happened here with it positive. So it's apps.nationalmap.gov/viewer/, okay? And then you're going to scroll down to these 3-dep hill shade, 3-dep elevation, 3-dep hill shade. So all of them you can play around with and see different effects. Typically, I'm just going to go with elevation hill shade, right? And you'll see what's going to happen here as soon as we open that eye there, literally and on there. All right, now you see right here in the middle of your screen, I'm going to start to zoom in on it. Something that looks much lot like that model of that impact crater, okay? Here you see this creek bed. Again, you'll see it today and how it's dry versus this one. Created, it would seem, in order to mimic, you know, as you see here, the Coosa River, right? Just as we had over here on our other tab, this one. So share this tab instead, right? Now this looks like a model of that mound, but it's a model of the crater. Okay, so the few that we have watching, and everybody, thank you that's watching this later, you have your visuals established through LiDAR and through the fine artwork here of Brooks Barrow in black marble, the crater reflection, done in 2023 and on display in Wetumpka, Alabama, right? And then getting a little better at this, I jump over and share this tab instead, and we have our LiDAR, right, of this mound, right? Now that you see where that is, let me take off our LiDAR one last time. See it down here? It's crazy. Okay, we take off, well, could we find it with LiDAR on? I don't know, it's right, where's the crater? There's Wetumpka Municipal, there's Wetumpka, there's Elmore Road, there's Coosa, there it is. Okay, so, and here's our crater, right, over in Wetumpka. All right, so I'm going to check the chat, and then we're going to do some video watch along, okay? And let's get our 2 images locked where we need them. Here at the southern end of the Mabila Complex at what seems to me to be a burial mound, so post-battle, right here. And let's leave this image up for everybody. Okay. Now, we have these for reference, and now we're going to pop over to do a watch-along, but I am first going to hop back and check in with the chat. We got Jay Quills. We've got Tammy. What's up, Tammy? What's going on, Jay Quills? It's ladies in the house. So you're just in time. I just kind of did the backstory of this theory I'm working on, where a mound seems to reflect an impact crater here in this area. You'll notice in these videos I'm about to play, let me maximize these videos, I'm about to play the quartz artifacts See, this is why I wait to nighttime. But Tammy says she can't follow in nighttime, and so and everybody else goes at night. Plus, part of what I'm trying to do here is sort of get out and explore, and then be able to hop right in here, sort of fresh, and show the video, from the day to keep these things from backing up, right? So again, we have the artifact with the representation of the mound. I think we've given enough visual here. And so what I'm going to launch into is just to walk up to this mound, and then we can revisit these pictures. So we need to share this tab with everybody. Thanks, ladies, for showing up. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. How is everybody? How's the day? How's New York? Tammy, J Quills, what's up? North of the border. Sarah, how's the garden? Well, I get assets loaded. Assets are loaded. All right. And let me come back and see if you answered my questions. The small window, so you girls, Riverside, the minimize window, that they should have a chat like that can do that, right? Because that I can't look at the assets and chat. Okay, we're still at ladies. Oh, wait a minute, I've got my phone. I'm a dummy. All right, let's start this watch along. Okay, and for that, we're going to need a slightly different layout. But first, we're going to share my iCloud photos of the Mabila site. Right. And then we're going to see again, I got to open this window to get a true view. Yeah, and I want minor. I think this is good. Yeah, okay. All right, so welcome to Finding Things Within and Without Watch Along, right? I've got a bunch of short videos which hopefully are going to play, and everything I've just showed you, we're going to take a walk up Pine Creek, up beside this mound, and I'm just going to let you get a taste for it, I hope. Get a bit of an experience for it, and then here, when I get to the mound, see precisely what the LiDAR shows you, and then what I will hope you see in its similarity to that model. Just thinking about it. Oh no, I got the exclamation point. See, the only issue Ricardo got onto me about this the other day is having things in the cloud can make them temperamental, but honestly, I'm not super proficient, and boy, it takes a lot of time to start downloading everything. So for instance, this material here, which I just got synced up and doesn't seem to want to play, it would be tomorrow before I could, even begin to look at it with you guys if I tried to sync it together. Oh no, what a great picture of okay, so let me, could we close some other, does that do anything? Perfect. All right, so we've got everything closed now. All right, let's do a little experiment. Let's see if we stop sharing how this stuff behaves. Okay, it plays. Okay, it plays. So let's share. Okay. Boom. That's quartz. All right, and we're some 13 miles away from Corn Creek, where all the quartz was produced, harvested. There's some metal melted. Here's rock. Some metal staining right there.
south of the crater-shaped mound at this point, walking north. You can hear the traffic. That's the state road, very nearby.
Piece of metal. Jacob.
So we're going to just walk up 3 or 4 bends here as we make our way to this crescent mound. Crescent. I'm so used to calling it crescent. I should start calling it crater. It's crater. It looks like a crater. We call it crater mound. Supposedly, allegedly.
Nope, you got a piece of metal, don't you, Jake? Treasure hunter. What is that? Oh, it looks like there's something on my lens. Sticks of quartz, triangles. What is that?
In there.
Metal. Right next to that. See the carbon in there?
You'll see this shape even today. See the carbon in the metal from the fire at the Battle of Mabila. So the day Hernando de Soto decided to burn all this stuff, this neighborhood I showed you has been clearing all of these mounds. So most of what would have been Mabila, carbon.
Fire at Mabila.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, all of the creeks in this area are this way, right? Just not this metal. This metal, is kind of what stood out to me. It doesn't belong, Check this out.
Naturally forming. There are crystals in there. There are. You can see them right in there. Same here.
Big piece of sandstone. But this
You know, this piece here, when you're used to, this goes to the point of a conversation I was just having before this recording with a friend, is that people just don't look. They don't look under their bloody feet, right? You know, now I was going down to these places, and this place it was one of the many to connect, right? You know, with God, with spirit, whatever, you know, word, with the unseen. You know, when we use the word spirit, right, we should actually work on the definition of that, you know, because what we're talking about is things that are beyond our material senses, what we refer to as 3D, which is just our limited bandwidth we can perceive things from, right? So we're talking about things that are extra to that, right? Okay, so at that level, to go and make your fire pit, you know, you'd be gathering these rocks, right, and all these little creeks all over this area. I'm sure there's still many of them, little fire rings I would make. And so you just start noticing the rocks, right? And you start and you grab one like this, and you know, even early on, many years ago, like 7 years ago, whenever I was 2018, so it's longer than that now, thereabouts. And you start noticing and building your fire pit, going, okay, the creek didn't do this. You know, I don't know what this is. I don't know that I could find it in a textbook, you know, but I then can trace out, oh, that's quartz or quartzite or that's moonstone. And then I start going over to Corn Creek near the crater, right? And I start going, well, this is where all the quartz and the moonstone and the quartzite and the mica and everything is coming from, right? Because of the impact blast. You can find it being harvested. You can find it in different stages of being shaped. You know, I've showcased this and we'll do many more times here, but it evidences my point quite well just here as you see me gathering these things that are just, you know, I mean, I'm walking along just with Jacob, right? Just trying to just, you know, none of this is sort of staged. You get an idea for how it is I first started going, okay, there's something else in these creeks, right? There's something else I should be paying attention to. Okay, so it's going to freeze up again, but that may, let's learn our lesson and let's go. We were one video back, and let's go with the stop sharing, Jason. Get it to bring up playing. So you're on that one, and then, yeah, and then bring that one up. Okay, that one's being temperamental without sharing. So let's see which one's not. Okay, the next one's not, so we might just do that. Okay, so let's go here. Yeah, this is a this is a funky one. All right, share screen. All right, there we go. And let's get back to that layout. And let me get back over here, get to the layout I need. I need that one. Yeah. And then let's get back over here. Let's maximize this and give it a play.
See that shadow from the helicopter?
Right between us. You find all these hunks, different hunks, that seem as to be like fired clay. Some of them are, okay, here's more metal. You can also find the clay, the so much clay in this creek that hasn't been fired, and it's divided into its different colors, as though it were stored underground perhaps and unearthed construction.
It's a nice thin worked piece of sandstone. It is way far thin. Way far thin.
This is my terrible Monty Python reference. That's a shape that you see all over.
Hang on, dude. I'm Show it off before you decide to run off with it. That edge.
You see what I deal with, right? Constantly chewing.
Here's a shaped stone encased in some metal. Here we have two cultures, one piece, the metal with the little stones on the back side. You see, if it would have been on background like that and gotten really hot, that's what you'd have, right? Yeah. I like the stones though. I like the stones. The rest is kind of like litter.
Give me them stones. Great movie. I should look in the chat then. Fifth Element. Look, we can mute. Oh, look, we can mute and walk along. So my point here is, again, you can see the various. Look at this. Quartz a bit running through there. The tourmaline looking stuff all worked and rounded. I wanted you guys to experience the walk, because this is a walk I took many times, right? Many times before the evidence started, the metal started evidencing itself as profusely as it began to after rains, and construction progressed. But what you see here is the place I first was seeking sort of as sanctuary, right? All right, so let's go back and let's just continue our little watch along. Now, I need the blue arrow. They confuse this so much. See, I don't want to press that big one. That's why I don't. There we go. I need that to pop up. Now, the next one. And it's giving us a play option too. Let's keep walking and I'll keep it on mute. These places I would come seeking sanctuary, right, for myself, and building fire pits and seeing what was what, both within myself and without. Yes, hence the name. This one's wild.
Oh, look, just as we know from over at the Coosa River, where we find this in much rawer states. Got some moonstone, quartz, beautiful piece. Been shaped down, got a flat surface. More DeSoto metal. Busted up from construction, taking place just through that tree line. And it's really the beauty of these stones.
What's up, Moss Van Jam? 6926. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it is. It's warm during the day. It's getting cool at night. We're still getting down to 65 Fahrenheit. But gosh, I think we hit 85 or 87 today.
See, as we make our way up towards this mound, where the backside's being washed out,
you'll see
towards the Mabila Complex, where the
this piece I just had in my hand, you'll see on the way back, I find several, another one of these. This is a theme that you see so many of these pieces right here, okay? So you see the shape, but then you'll also see on one side, let me just back up and play it.
The Mabila Complex where the construction was.
Well, Jason, before you threw it, there we go.
Where the back side's being washed out.
Right at the beginning. So right where you see it looks like sort of a beak.
Where the back side's
there. Okay. So right here, all right? This is a feature. You'll find these sticks or sort of oblong rounded pieces, and they have this right here on one side of it.
Being washed out and up towards the Mabila Complex where the construction was taking place. You see, it's just all of it. It's just all of it. What is that?
So you can hear the quartz before you even, it's stained red, high heat. Now here you see the construction, right? So guys that are just joining us, I will pull the maps back up and give you a reference point. I have now reached a mound. I used to call it the crescent mound, but I now am putting forth the theory that it is a crater mound, that not only has this mound been created in order to represent the crater, which is just over in Wetumpka, I'm also putting forth that it's most likely a burial mound, as you'll see in the video and the tour here. Several reasons I say that. That also being because of this is just south of the site of Mabila. And we'll revisit all that on the map. But this concrete you see me beside is when I referenced in the opening, guys, that we're here, where the construction, which is just off to my right up here, I showed you on the map, they dump busted concrete, and the construction refuse has pushed this creek over and is eroding the back of this crater mimicking mound.
Watch out for snakes, bro. Jacob is not yet been educated on snakes. So as we bring ourselves up here to the mound, I mean, you can really see the back side of it here, sloping down to the creek. Another beautiful piece of quartz. Stained red. High heat. The sheet.
So I'm standing right as you see that. So I've got several pieces. They shaped these sheets of quartz and different materials that exact shape. They're piled up outside. We'll review later. But as you continue to look at these, we've got a few more with us now. So I'm going to give everybody a quick reference point by popping over to the tab where we have the LiDAR. Okay, so I'm going to share this tab instead for just a second and let you guys see where we're walking. We're walking up this creek to this mound here, right? I am currently right now standing in the video right here, and I'm about to take you up and show how this mound here mimics. Let me share my X where we have that pulled up. Yeah, so share this tab instead. Right. Okay. So this is in the Wetumpka Impact Crater Museum. This is a model of the crater, which, as this you're about to see when I climb it, this mound mimics this crater. Now, what all does that tell us? We can talk about afterwards, but this is what we're about to climb. So you see here, I'm going to, on this model of this crater that looks just like this mound. I keep wanting to say as I walk up the model of the mound, I'll be walking up the mound, which is shaped just like this here, right? And yeah, here's your LiDAR of it. Okay, so I just wanted to, I saw the numbers jump and wanted to give everybody a reference of what you're looking at on the southern end here of the Mabila Complex. All right, so now we're going to run back to minimize you, share this tab instead, and bam. Almost like I'm ready to start announcing these things instead of surprising you all with them, but not quite yet. A little more practice.
Running from where you can start to see the back side now washing away because of the fill from the construction to push the creek over. So smooth.
Now, it seems to me a piece like this is even potentially in process simply because if I wanted to take all you guys' time, and I will in the future, I could get up and just go get a couple of, right now, artifacts this size that are this shape, this little bulge, square, and up here, you know? Again, we're not looking for us. You see all the construction refuse just pushed.
And you see here, it's already above my head.
Some flowers for your day.
Where it's washing out. All right.
And you see well the
Jacob, that is
mountain
serious
above
snake
you.
territory, bro. Like, really. You hear him blowing bubbles? I'm gonna dig in the mound. He'll learn. He'll learn. Okay, so you've seen the rocks. You've seen the backside of the mound. You've seen the issues caused by construction. You've seen all of this quartzin and sandstone artifacts that are not naturally shaped.
See the clay,
Now let's take you up on it.
the mound. All right, so let's climb it. Now, if I can efficiently, man, I wish there was like just a next function, but there's not. I've got to be able to minimize out of here. And in order for it to do that, I need for it to be on, you know what I mean? Not lagging, and it is lagging. So I'm going to check with chat while we get ourselves, here we are, up to climbing this sucker. All right, here. Maybe. It's always maybe. Okay, loading. Perfect. All right, let's climb and let's see what's up with chat. No step on snake. I know. There's a look at you changing shares. I know. Ricardo Calvario, boss from the Institute of Natural Philosophy and my partner in the Shaman and the Philosopher. Thanks for stopping in. I'm sure you're busy with work. Oh, look at that. My gosh, at that glare. Man. See, I've been watching. I didn't even see that. Thanks for showing up, dude. Yeah, snake territory. Watch, it gets worse. Okay, so let's climb this. Yeah, smoky quartz. Yeah, all kinds of quartz, Tammy. Let's. Yeah, there's rose, smoky. Yeah, it's just on and on. Clears. I mean, you know, crystals. Just moonstone. On and on. All right, let me get back over to this window and let's continue our tour of this crater mound.
Okay, so we're just up on the shore. There's the creek down there. And you can see I'm standing at, let me see if I can get an angle down here. Yeah, so this is where it starts.
Hey, and Ricardo, listen, for any of you that haven't watched our last episode of The Shaman and the Philosopher, if you want to see the hardest laugh I've had all week, go check out the last 2 minutes when Ricardo had a comment about the ratings of this show and my endeavors. I'm serious, bro. That was the best laugh I've had all week, man. That was hilarious. You guys go check out that episode on the Institute of Natural Philosophy's YouTube page.
Sloping up. You can see animal burrows. You can see, let's follow. We're on the back side. And if we're comparing it to that crater, you see this nice long.
So, Ricardo, I can even show off. Look here, man. Right here. Share this tab instead. Here's the LiDAR, right? And if we zoom out, I can give everybody, again, that's just joining us, a reference point. So the impact crater is right here. I got to zoom out even more for you to see them both. Is here, okay, right? And our mound was over there, right? Here's the crater. There's the mound. See, Ricardo? And I've even got Google Earth, man. I can share this tab instead. All right, and then we can zoom in and show everybody. Let's see, let me orient myself. Boom, not there. Here, what we're dealing with. You see all this construction happening in the middle of your screen. I've even got a video coming around the backside. I'll show you guys here at the end, showing you how far, in fact, the construction now is spread into all of this here. And we're right down here. Okay? See? Boss, you pleased now? Look at me showing off. All right, share this tab instead, and hopefully it didn't mess up, and carry on with the journey.
Long slope. All the way up. See, it's still down there. I'm working my way up. It's sloping down there. See how it's steeper down there? That's where I just showed you it's cut off. Right, and we're making our way up. Right, towards the high point, the back of the crater. Right. Now, as I get up here, there's a butterfly. You see I'm at the high point of what was a slow arching mound. There's the concrete from the construction I just showed you from down there. And then here's the mound where it dives off, right? And then we took this slow arch to right.
Yeah,
here.
You're trying to walk it back, aren't you?
All right. Look, you see? Boom. It dives. It is a crater. Holy shit, look at those.
Okay, so I'm going to mute it, and let's just sort of do a fast forward. You see here now, I'm at the crater edge, right? And let's just reappreciate real quick here with mute on. No, don't mess up, Jay. Okay, let's just let it keep playing. Let's let it keep playing. Just please keep playing. All right. So either you're supposed to see the rest of this, and I'm obviously not supposed to touch it. Come on, you can do it. I did learn a trick a minute ago that if I stop sharing real quick, another trick of the trade here, Ricardo. Okay, stop sharing. And then, yeah, then it'll sort of, maybe. See, no matter how good I am at sharing tabs, that does absolutely nothing if the material will not play. And this is where Ricardo would lecture me about having it in the cloud, which, you know, I mean, touche. What can I say? But, you know, again, I'm trying to keep it fresh. And when I go out and film it in the morning, this is the most expeditious way to bring it to you all. So let's try one more time. Another typical fix was to back out and go to previous video. Yep. and then get back over. See, there's nothing we can do about these. Now there is, and I caused it too, which is the real bummer. We're just going to let it go for a second, see if it loads. There is another video in another format, just to not have to end, you know, without showing you this. Let's skip even. What about another video? Okay. Okay, so let's try this. Let's just go to the next video for expeditious purposes. I hate you missed me climbing down in it, but we will get it back. What if I take it all the way back to the beginning? See that one before it's playing. Bear with me, guys. Last time I'm going to try this. Yeah, that one's going to give us fits. So for everybody watching's sake, I'm going to skip to the next one, and I'm going to share this. All right, so now I've come down to the bottom, right, of this mound. So if you're thinking of that model of the crescent, let me pull it back up for you here. So if we're seeing this, right, I am down in, I jumped down to the bottom, right? I walked up here, then you saw how it falls off. Now I've walked around, and I'm right here where we're about to pick up in this video. So from there, we jump back, stop sharing, minimize, Mabila, share, screen, Mabila, share, play, come back, get in proper format, and go back, allow sound.
And you're going to ask yourself, Jason, why are you doing this shit barefoot?
Okay, so I don't want to back it up, but you can see I'm starting to walk up the mound.
You could ask me,
here.
why is your hair long? Why is your beard long? Hair's got silica in it. It's like quartz. Helps you pick up on subtleties. Same thing here. Not only is it connecting you to the energy of the earth, charging your body, aiding in healing and all that good stuff, especially in these quartz heavy areas, piezoelectricity, but it's connecting you with the place. Also walking as these natives would have. But all of it is important when you're finding things without. This place is getting deep. Come on, Jake, let's find the top. Okay, and now as though we were scaling a miniature of the impact crater in Wetumpka, where all of the quartz, which you have seen me, my whole walk up, show you, comes from. This tells us something. This tells us a lot about the people in this area.
And you can see here it diving down. Yeah.
Again. It's a map. It's a life-size model. All right, Jake. Let's go home and let's compare these videos with the model from the Impact Crater Museum over in Wetumpka. See you guys in a few.
Okay, now let's see if we can successfully navigate back and get that last one to play where I'm diving off. And it's still going to give us fits. I guess I can, yeah, well, maybe. I did it one-handed. I like had the camera and I went the whole way, you know, and I went back up and it was like, it's probably why it's not letting me play, because I was like showing off ego. It's like, no, they can't see that. I do have video of Nick and I doing it. Let's see what time we're at, though. I don't want to make these things too long because oh, we're at an hour. Look at that. Okay, so who haven't I said hello to? Thank you, Ricardo. I appreciate it. Yeah, I messed up the video here, but again, all of this is sort of learning. So I've learned not to do that, not to mess with it while it's playing and I'm sharing. It does not make it happy. What I could try to do, since, you know, I mean, that's just a lot of fast forward. We're already over an hour. So I'm probably going to take us one more time here to the LiDAR. No. Let's finish with what we started, ended that video with this. Share this tab instead. The model of the impact crater. So as I get more and more efficient with this, and as I continue on, you will see me continue to push this thread. I have so much video from Corn Creek, which is where we'll probably step next. You know I'm walking through the Mabila aspect, and you guys that are tuning in for that, you can find some material, a lot on my X, but some material for sure on my YouTube already. There's a couple of presentations I put up with Universe Unveiled. That's Sarah, and Jacqueline here in the chat. There's an interview I did with those guys. Also, go like, follow, subscribe, Universe Unveiled. See, plugs even. Anyhow, that's not quite the point of this series. We'll be weaving in and out of that. We will get to the Mabila side of things, but I'm starting with trying to sort of show people the places, you know, and how I found them, and beginning with this sort of recent theory of mine emerging that this mound, in fact, is a model of this model of the crater, right? And when we start diving into Corn Creek and Swayback and all of these areas over here by the crater itself, you'll begin to see what I mean, that this landscape was important to the native people, that the items that were harvested, that were produced, the landscapes, you know, that were manufactured are everywhere. And look, think about it. It's after Mabila, right? Think about what happened after Mabila. Let me stop sharing here. Okay, so after Mabila, you've got everybody. DeSoto had summoned everyone, you know, even the Independents, the Pirates, right? Like, everybody's here. Okay, all the best fighters, you know, the strongest, the women, everybody's there, and they get killed. And then for 30 days after, DeSoto goes around burning and killing everyone, everything, right? So think about what's left. Think about what effort would be made, right, in order to do some sort of burial effort. How long might it take before people actually came back through here, sorted out who was dead? Who might they go to such effort for? You know? I posit that it would be the highest ranking that died that day, which we can confirm, which would be Chief Tuscaloosa's son, right? Why would you make a mound that mimicked a crater filled with artifacts, with quartz? Put a big X marker tree. We didn't look at that today. Now, without even answering that question, you start to see the avenues of what these people held sacred and how they moved and what they thought about their environment and how they saw their environment. We know from the mounds that they could do alignments, that they could do advanced construction. Tuscaloosa, whose territory we are in, was known as the last mound builder, right? He was at Attahachie still constructing, right? So these people knew the landscape. They knew how to see it. You see this crater, right? Imagine it without trees. Imagine this mountain without trees, right? The video accidentally shut off, you know, was a part where I walked down into the creek bed. So we'll look at that before I end it. And this has been my longest one yet. So thanks everybody that came in. Yeah, is it great? I thought it was bad because, thank you, Tammy. She's talking about the sun behind me. So I was worried it was like probably blinding you guys. That's another reason I do it at night. You know, it's a little more cozy here in the little studio space. But let's try this video that I interrupted one last time. The only trick I could really think of that might do it is if we hop out of my library completely.
Let's see if that wants to load. Otherwise, let's close a couple of things. We don't need that anymore. We really don't need that. All right, and let's see if we can possibly get a look at the only video. I filmed quite a lot on the walk out, but what it is showing more of what you saw on the walk in. And so for those that are interested, as soon as I pressed end here before long, just go back and fast forward through the beginning of this. Okay, so let's see now if it wants to do anything for us. It does. Okay, so let's try this. I had to close some windows. Let's screen. Let's share Mabila. Remember that? Close a few of these tabs. I've gotten good at sharing.
So we're just up on the shore. There's the creek down there. And you can see I'm standing at, let me see if I can get an angle down here. Yeah. So this is where it starts. Sloping up. You can see animal burrows. You can see, let's follow. We're on the back side. And if we're comparing it to that crater, you see this nice long slope. All the way up. See, it's still down there. Just working my way up. It's sloping down there. See how it's steeper down there? That's where I just showed you it's cut off, right? And we're making our way up. Right, towards the high point, the back of the crater, right? Now, as I get up here, this butterfly.
All right, this is where I messed it up last time. So I think we're
what
caught
was
up.
a slow arching mound. There's the concrete from the construction I just showed you from down there. And then here's the mound where it dives off, right? And then we took this slow arch to right here. All right, look, you see, boom, it dives. It is a crater.
Representation of a crater.
Holy shit, look at those.
Thorns.
Yes, those and barefoot. It's a skill. It's a skill.
That's how I learned.
The real skill is knowing that that's a swamp down there, because just like the crater over in Wetumpka, the creek that runs on this side, right? So there's two. It runs in over here just as the Coosa did, and it fills in down here. That being said, guys, I'm not here to disturb everything. I just need to document your home for the audience. So away we go. Let's see. Shit, I got to do it one-handed. All right, let's try it with our left hand. All right, here we go. Fuck, that's a fall. Okay. Now, as you can see, I'm in a crater with a lot of horseflies and critters that slopes all the way down, which I'm going to get back up here and show you without going through the actual snake den like Jake's doing. All right, let's do this with one hand. Here we go. And Jacob's turn.
Model of the crater.
Without a hand.
Remember the model of the crater.
All right, let's check out this arch down. Again, reminding you, slow down. You see, and it holds. It holds its crater-like appearance as we arch our way down.
Angle.
You can see again, holes, roots, caving in, right? Different layers in there. There's an animal trail going down to the bottom. right? And as we pass the former Widowmaker here, which fell,
You can start to see the sand through there for this dry
we come
creek
all the way
bed,
down.
which mimics
Now,
the
if you
Coosa,
see, as I come around, just
which
as
only flows
at
when the water's up.
the crater,
Now I'm down at ground level.
oh, this is shallow. Okay, so up there where Jake is the end point where water flows in. Now right here, dirty back here. You see, I'm at ground level, okay? I'm where I was standing a moment ago. I'm maybe 2 feet above it. Show you right here, see? Boom, boom.
Remember the model of the
You can
crater.
follow the rim and the wall around right there. And that is Crater Mound. Here at the southern end of the Mabila Complex. And then back here, you can see the bed from the creek that flows, just like the Coosa River. There's some water right there. Oh, it's so thick back here. Ow, there's some thorns. Really,
Things I'll
Jake?
do for you
We're
guys.
doing it, huh?
That's for knowledge. Right?
I'm not going to be able to use this much footage. And if, ow.
Here we are.
See, there's Fatwood in the making. There's a Widowmaker.
But I want you to see
All right,
dry
what have you
bed
got back here in Snake Central?
with islands in it,
Yeah.
just like the
creek bed.
Coosa.
And there's the start of the
It's like
mound.
a model. It's a map of the crater and the Coosa River. That creek bed is not, you know, it doesn't seem natural. Really doesn't. You know, it takes extreme water flow to get it going. I could keep going for hours, you know. That's why I've committed to doing the 3 of these a week. We could easily jump over right now to start showing you the videos from the Coosa River and from Corn Creek, and show you, you know, precisely where it is this quartz is coming out of and what was produced by this impact crater and why this area would have been so special to these people. But I have not, just a heads up, everybody, I'm not announcing when I'm going live yet, because honestly, as you see, I'm learning. You know, I don't think it's quite worth everybody's time to schedule around me. But I have committed to doing this 3 times a week. I'm trying to do different things, right? I'm trying to do an episode like this where we do some videos, we do some walkthroughs. I'm trying to do an episode where perhaps there's even some conversation with people, even people here locally, about the process of sort of the spiritual aspect of all of this, and what people who have walked through things sort of like I've walked through have garnered from it, you know, so you have other perspectives all honing in on this process of finding things within and without. And I also hope to do some episodes sort of giving you backstory, going back to some of my Rumble videos and sort of walking you through how it is I went from, you know, just a dude whose life was falling apart to finding Mabila, and then finding everything you can see in antediluvian Alabama on my YouTube page in Central and North Alabama at the Cahaba River. A friend of mine just reminded me the Cahaba lilies are about to start blooming. Exceptionally rare, exceptionally beautiful. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. I can't tell you how much it helps and how much I appreciate having you people in the chat. Each and every one of you, Tammy, Sarah, Jacqueline, Moss Van Jam. I've got several watching that aren't commenting. So to all of you, whoever you are, thank you very much for your interest in my work. And look for me to continue this. I'm just going to squeeze in 3 episodes a week. Watch them back. You know, you might have to fast forward through the first 5 minutes because I like to give people a second to jump in. But I try to also keep the story rolling and keep them fairly concise. So this is episode 3 of Finding Things Within
and without. We've moved from calling them test episodes to just giving them numbers, but I have not moved to scheduling and giving you a link ahead of time because I want to keep this thing open so I can flow with it and learn with it and do the best I can to become entertaining, right, for you guys, to give you something you like to watch, but also to start to establish community, which is why I'm just going ahead and learning right here and stumbling through it with you guys, so that we figure this all out together. Okay, so have an excellent evening. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah. Have an excellent Tuesday, everybody. I love you. Thank you very much for tuning in. And yeah, Crater Mound. What's that add to the story? I think it adds a lot, and we'll continue to explore that as we continue with this process of finding things within and without. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to press that stop button and not the leave button now, Sarah. And we'll see you guys here in a day or